look ahead for pedestrians.
Nobody there.
And look to your right again.
Yeah. And when you just as you drop the handbrake down, make sure you're looking in the direction that you're going to steer, yeah? Now, I may well, if you're not watching me, what I will do is I'll be looking this way, watch. I'll be looking
Okay, you need to look in the direction you're steering, Tony.
Yeah.
Straighten up for me, please.
Yeah.
And check your interior mirror.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I was just changing what I've done the left and right hand turns last week.
Excellent.
I'm checking for distance and speed. And I'm checking this one here to see if anybody's overtaken me, innit?
Fantastic.
And if they are, make sure I give you the full story. If they are, I've got to let them go.
Yes.
Is that the full story?
Consequence. So
if I don't let them go, what happens?
So if you don't let them go, the consequence of that could be they could drive straight into an oncoming vehicle.
Yeah? Well, this is a cross, so I don't handle this myself. Okay. Yeah, so I've now taken the mirrors for the new road off you now, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, so this thing about looking in the direction I'm steering,
yeah,
you will have to come in and give me a reason for that, otherwise I'll be playing around with that all the way through, yeah? So it's very important we look in the direction that we're going to be steering as we emerge off the giveaway line, yeah? Because if we're not looking where the car's actually going, there's a possibility we won't steer, or we could even run over a pedestrian, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah? But if I see you not watching me, I'll be looking exactly where you're looking. If you're looking down the road to the left and I'm going right, that's where I'll be looking as well, yeah?
Okay.
And will you know that I wasn't looking?
No.
Never. Yeah? It's just a game, isn't it, really?
Well, that's what it is.
Sorry?
It's another world, that's what
Another world. It's good fun, though.
It is. It is.
And if you just get me to find a safe, legal and convenient stopping place on the left.
Okay, Tony, can you find a safe, legal stopping point on your left, please?
It's a mouthful, isn't it? And you can breathe. Was that easier or harder than what you thought it would be?
Harder.
Right?
It's just remembering.
Yeah, but am I expecting you to remember it all after a half an hour?
God, I hope not.
No, of course not. Yeah? It's just getting you into that routine, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so what was the first thing you done to make things easy for yourself? You identified, yeah?
Yeah.
You got to identify the subject you're teaching and see it coming up. If you don't see it coming up, you ain't got to talk about it,
Yeah,
yeah?
absolutely.
So, if you see it in good time, that gives you the time then to start talking me through the routine, yeah?
Yeah.
Right? Most people who have problems with this have problems because they spot it too late and there's not enough time to even mention the fact. Yeah? But there is ways of spotting it. And obviously tell me how you're spotting it, because that's education for me as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah, I can see this emerge coming up because I can see the lamppost at the end of the road, or I just saw a bus go from the left to the right. He's either gone through somebody's garden or it's an emerge, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah? And then the control element is get me to cover that brake, yeah? But obviously remember, covering the brake is not going to stop the car, yeah?
Yeah. I've got to tell you to stop.
Well, it's going to slow the car. As we get near, I need to be squeezing it. The thickness of a pound coin, thickness of a pound coin. Bring the speed down to old man's walking pace.
Yeah.
And then when you tell me to stop, then it's not going to be an abrupt stop, yeah? If you don't tell me to squeeze the brake, then obviously when you do tell me to stop, I will stop. But your nose is probably going to be bouncing off the windscreen. Yeah? Which again is not a massive problem. You know, on the first one or two, it's always going to be a little bit jerky anyway, yeah? But then when you get into the swing of it, you find that it gets a bit easier, yeah? So obviously, it depends on what happens on that first emerge, how much information you're going to get in.
Yeah.
You might not get a chance to get any in. You might not even get a chance to give a reference point.
Yeah.
Yeah? Because there could be somebody right up your bottom who's pushing you to want to go. So you wait for your opportunity on the next one, yeah?
Gotcha.
And then the bits that come in afterwards, like the mirrors for the new road or at a time in the signal, use the opportunity where they're able to drive the car between the emerges and do the left and right hand turns, they can do them fine. The meeting situations, they can do fine. That's your opportunity to talk to them. You don't need to worry about you're going to break their concentration and be interfering with how they handle this meeting situations.
Yeah.
Between those 2 points, their driving is going to be down to them, really. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they would be expecting you to use that. They would be hoping that you're going to use that bit where they can drive between the next emerge and the last emerge. They would be sitting there praying that you're going to take this as an opportunity to educate them. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't, obviously you're a plonker, aren't you? Because you've wasted a good opportunity.
Quite.
But a lot of people who are actually, a lot of PDIs think, oh no, I've got to leave him alone because he's handling this this delicate meeting situation, yeah? It's up, yeah, they can handle that fine, yeah?
Yeah.
The only bit they can't handle is the emerging.
Yeah.
And what they want you to do is in between those two emerges is give them as much education as you can, yeah?
Yeah.
And that's the way it works. So have you got any questions on that?
Not at the moment.
No?
It's just getting everything in order and, yeah, just constantly thinking.
Right, so why did we pick... So the reason why we picked an emerge today, because it actually includes the mirror signal position speed look routine.
Yeah.
In the same way, if we were doing crossroads the first time today, a crossroads is exactly the same as a merge, apart from the fact we've got the extra road to worry about.
Okay.
Yeah? So that's all you need to do is add an extra road on.
Yeah.
Left and right hand turns, again, is the mirror signal position speed look routine. Yeah?
Yeah.
So the reason why I always pick the emerge is that it teaches you how to teach the mirror signal position speed look routine in great detail, and it also shows you that you can actually hold me on the emerge if there's nobody behind you.
Yeah.
But obviously you can't hold me there if there is somebody behind us pushing us to go. But if somebody does come up behind you, especially if we're doing a left-hand turn, they may well go around us because they may well be turning right. So don't move me off too quick. Just keep an eye on them. Think, because 5 times out of 10 they will actually go off to the right, or sometimes they might even come up and not even bother slowing down behind me, just go straight around me.
Right.
That's ideal for us, isn't it? That means you can hold me there a bit longer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any questions on that?
No, that's fine.
I'll give that a pause.